Hi, I'm Rob, and today I like to show you a video with a more in-depth explanation about a routed table blade. And that blade is mobile, so you can use it on workbenches, on location, yeah, wherever you are. And it's also suitable for a jigsaw. And how you really make it, that's what I like to show you today. Well, the first thing what you need is a blade. And yeah, this is then a blade of 60 by 60, and that's 24 inch by 24 inch, something like that. But size doesn't matter so much, just what you have or what you want to use. Then it's 3/4 thick, and there is a hardwood frame around it for damage. But you can do it also from MDF, HDF. You know, long as it's nice and flat. Then the next thing what I do is I bring in 2 cross lines. These are center lines, to know a bit where the whole device is gonna be. So I made, and the plate is still the plate, there is no inlay in. Yeah, and now the inlay. Now the inlay that is made out of HPL. That's a laminate, and high pressure laminate, HPL, and it goes also with us under the name Trespa Alpa. And it's a 1/4 inch thick, and it's something like paper with resin, and it's under high pressure and temperature, and they press then plates from it, and that's this, and that's where it's made from. And then the size is in my case 25 deep, that's 10 inch by 8 inch, 20 centimeter, and that's the size. Well, you can make it smaller, you can make it bigger, it's just what you want. Well, the next thing what you have to do is to determine where you get the mounting screws for your router. And I place a V-groove bit in it, and that I place on top of the center lines here. I just scribe off the circumference of that foot plate. Well, scribing off the holes it can be a very easy thing. You just put it on the place where it has to be. I take a drill and give it a little knock, and then you get a little indentation, and that's then the center of your hole. Now another thing, if you drill these holes, you can make them, as soon as you have the center, you can make them 1/2 mil or 1 mil bigger than your screw. And it always will end up in the middle, and that is because you countersink. And if you countersink, the screw will always center itself by the cone shape in the center of the hole. So that's no problem. That will always succeed. By the way, don't forget that you countersink on the top surface, because the router is situated under, and the screws go like that. So here you get the countersink, not on the other side. Therefore it's better that you write in here front or top or whatever, so by using it or working with it, that you don't get confused. So here you get the countersink in the top. I drill one, exactly 4 mil. That's the size of the screw. So then this one will fit exactly in the place. There is no play. There's no room for play yet. That comes later. Then I mount this one with a nut, tie it up so that it can't move anymore. Well, after the precise drilling of the 4.5, I do with the 4, I drill them up with 4.5. You see? So they are a little bit bigger, then it fits more easy. Well, I didn't want an inlay in here, so I could drill straight a hole in it. And of course, you also can do it with a copy plate, you know, and then you follow a bigger hole, what you put on front, and you also make the hole. Well, now we have to determine where we place the jigsaw. And that can't be above that big hole, because I made it then a little bit further. I made it somewhere in here. So then first I made a slot. So then I can stick the jigsaw in, the saw blade, and I can position it. Well, it's situated now a bit half in the hole, like this, the saw. So this is then maybe a nice position for the jigsaw. And if you think, well, that fits, then I dismount the foot, and I'm gonna scrape off the foot. Well, this is then a Bosch jigsaw, and the foot of a Bosch jigsaw has a steel inlay, at least mine. And this steel inlay I want to use as a template for those 4 mounting holes. Well, these 2 plates, they represent now the shape what you have to cut out of your table blade to fit the machines in. So now I scribed it off. I can take the sizes and I can cut it out in the plate, like here. I bring them over, the sizes, and then that will fit. So, but there is still no plate in, it's just a bare plate, and I cut that hole in. Well, such a foot plate alone, it's not very big. So what I do is I take away then the first foot plate, or the basis, which is screwed on the foot. That one you can take off and make a new one, like this. So here you can put your router bit, and these are the attachment screws where the router is going to be situated on, you know, like this. Well, it can be that your router may be a bit too deep, but then to fine adjust, you always can put a few pieces of paper or whatever under it, so that it will be always on the right height, like this. So if you feel here that there is no, you see that it slides easy, that your material doesn't keep on being stuck. So it has to be the same height, the same level. Well, if that's all done, then you need also a few mounting holes for the inlay. And the funny thing is, as soon as you're gonna tie it up with screws, it maybe goes a bit down, and then it's too deep, and then you have to work with paper or whatever. Well, I can't make the fences this time hands-on with you, because I did them already 9 years ago. And yeah, they are still functioning. But people asked me if I could make a video about it, because they were very interested how to build that. So therefore this video. Well, now we get the fences. Yeah, this is I think standard fans. It has two curtains, so you can open and close it. And dust extraction, that's here. Dust extraction, and for the curtains, and this is then for the mountings. You see, on both sides. So you can move it a little bit. And I made a few bushings in the blade, so I can also retract it more backwards for bigger objects. Now that's number one. Yeah, nice one. But you also can have a different model, and this is adjustable. It can tilt a little. It can tilt forward, and it also can tilt backwards. And that is due to this system. You see, those four. And here you have a dust extraction. Here you put just the vacuumer in, and then it sucks it all away. It doesn't even have to be a cupboard. This works perfect. So I brought in 5 different inserts, or 5 inserts, and it's metric 6. And yeah, they are thread bushings. You see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's this sort of bushing. It's metric 6, can expand. So those you hammer in the wood. Of course you have to pre-drill. And a bit of CA glue, and you have a mounting. And yeah, of course, on the other side, same thing. Well, this is then the fans a bit in parts. Here you have the curtains. It goes with 2 carriage bolts, and then it falls in like this. You see, that's one. Here, same thing on the other side. And here you have then the slots where it moves in. Here you have your dust collection. Well, there are also 4 shims involved. Now I like to explain to you the shims. This is then 2.96 mil, almost 3. That goes behind one curtain, like this, and now it's 3 mil more in front than the other one, the old position. So now, if I want to take off 3 mil from a piece of wood, like this, of course, here I miss then 3 mil, but that is then taken care of by this curtain, because that one is 3 mil in front, so it still will follow straight. You see? And then you take off the whole part. And that's the meaning of those shims. Okay, now I bring the fans just as much forward that the front of the fans, here, this one, that it touches the ruler. And also the knife from the router bit will also touch the ruler. So now it is 3 millimeter forward, more forward than the old situation, like this. You see? And that's how you take off then 3 mil. let's say not 45, but a 30 degree or so. And that's possible, you see. Now you have a 30 degree chamfer that you can do with this thing. So if you don't have the router bit, you can do it with a straight router bit, but then with the tumbling fans or the tilting fans. Now I will give you a few sizes. And the base plate here is 15, that's 6 inch. And it's almost a little bit over 4 inch high, 11 centimeters. But all those sizes are in a way arbitrary. It's just what you have laying around and what you think is suitable for you. So it's just merely how I did it. And these arms, they are 19 centimeter. So that's 7.5 inch. And they are one inch 3/4 broad. Let's say it's 35 mil. And it's 190 mil long. And you need 4 of them. And then, of course, you have to see the height of this turning point. Because if you make it too much down, this comes to the base plate. So you really need first to attach it in here. And then you're going to see how that evolves. And then you can also determine where to place this bolt. In my case, it's on 42 mil. The center of this one is 42 mil high. And yeah, then you can also bring it in a bit higher. That's not really a problem. Okay, what is also a bit handy to do is to place these carriage bolts in the same size as the other fans, because then you can use the same shims. They always will fit then, you see. So for both fences you have one set of shims. Then also here, these mounting slots, put them in the same size as the other one, because then you can fit it in the same bushings on your table. So those things, if you make that a bit equal, can help. Also a point of attention, that is these self-retaining nuts. Those are metric 6 knee locks. And they don't have to be that tight, just that you still can hinge it a little, you know. It still can pivot a little. Otherwise, yeah, it's difficult with adjusting. It has 4 of these points, and it's very solid. Well, I was busy with this thing anyway, so I thought let's bring in right away 2 feather boards. So now I made connections with a T-nut, 4 T-nuts, 1, 2, 3, 4, for the fingerboards. Well, with such a clamp, it's also possible. And usually I use this instead of the feather boards. But if you have to do a lot, then the feather boards, yeah, they are more handy. Because this you have to clamp in every time. But this is also a very good system. So if I can't do it with this one, then yeah, you also can do it with a feather board, you see. And both the feather board and the clamp, they all have an individual video. Well, I hope it was an interesting video, and maybe yeah, you can use that for yourself or for projects. Anyway, I like to thank you for watching, and maybe till the next time. Bye bye.